It's the Columbia College Coaches Show on Mediacom Channel 22 with head coach Mike Davis of the Lady Cougars. Columbia College, another road game off to Nebraska and Peru State University. They came in here a few weeks back and got you in a contest where you guys had a lead early, and then they kind of battled back and ended up winning the basketball game. Ready for them on the road this time around. What did you learn from the first game, and what do you?
I think that was a really disappointing game for us because we really felt as though that was a game we had control of and didn't finish the last 5 minutes of it. So, you know, finishing ball games, you always talk about breaking it into increments. You know, the first 5 minutes of the second half, into the ball game, and I think that's one of those times where we didn't finish a game the way we really needed to. It could have had a little bit to do with rotations. Maybe as coaches we didn't do a good enough job. But, you know, those are things that hopefully we're far enough into this season now. We have a pretty good idea of putting people together and rotations and things like that. And I think they're getting a better idea of what their roles are as a team. As a matter of fact, we visited with several girls the last week or two. Here's what we need you to do to have success. Here's what this player needs to do. And I think there's more of a comfort zone now than there was at that time.
And in this time of the year, too, there's a lot of stuff swirling with the girls, especially some of the younger with the freshmen that you have. It's their first year in school. It's, you know, big-time basketball going on. You got the holidays going on, especially the girls that are from here. Almost maybe a negative to the local fact because there's so many different distractions and things going on, and you're trying to get them focused on the basketball court. Let's talk about some of those newcomers that are on the team. I know I mentioned to you at one of the lunches before the season started with all the changeover. The jersey numbers are the same, but the girls and the names are all different as the broadcasters we're trying to get a grasp of who they are. You guys as the coaches running them through the practices.
You guys have earned your money this year learning all the new names from the two basketball teams.
Most definitely, yeah.
You know, we have 3 newcomers that are starting for us right now. We'll start with those. One transfer student, Kayla Rice, a young lady who transferred in from West Strand High School originally, went to Moberly Junior College and played, and transferred in here from Moberly. Really a highly skilled point guard. Actually leading us in scoring right now, averaging about 13 to 14 a game. Can really shoot a basketball. Great fun to watch because of her skill level. Has played at a high level all through growing up. I think she maybe led West Strand to 3 Final Fours her sophomore, junior, and senior year. So really a skilled player and doing a great job making the adjustment into us and playing at a high level. 2 freshmen that are starting for us, both of them from nearby. Ashley Fisher from over at Harrisburg, Missouri. Great basketball family. Her brother was one of the great basketball players here in Central Missouri. Mom and Dad both hailed from Harrisburg and good players. And you know, I think she has the bragging rights in that family, though. She was the only one that helped lead her high school team to an undefeated state championship. You know, her brother, I think they won a state championship at Harrisburg, but her team was undefeated there.
31-0. That's quite a senior campaign. So
when you hear us talking about her, she's simply Fish. So if you hear Fish yelled at one of the ball games, that's who we're talking about. But Fish has played at a good level, playing a 5 spot in and out for us, averaging about 10 a ball game and really playing well. Another freshman that's starting for us is Heather English from over at Boonville, Missouri. Another about 5'10" player, really long and athletic and creates lots of troubles out front. I think the stuff that she does defensively is great fun to watch just because of her length. But can really shoot a basketball, shooting almost 50% from the 3 line right now. And again, averaging about 10 a game as a freshman. So, you know, those 3 have really played at high levels for us. Some other newcomers that we have, Mackenzie Smith, a freshman from Kickapoo High School, and for those of you that are familiar with high school ball in the state of Missouri, I mean, every year they're a perennial Final Four team, and I think they finished 3rd in the state last year. Mac actually had surgery on her legs early in the fall, but back now playing and doing a really good job for us.
Some of the fans in some of the games, she comes out, looks like she's ready to play goalie and hockey with ice back. I mean, just everywhere up and down her legs, as she continues to rehab and play through a lot of pain and continue.
Something I haven't been around, but it's called compartment syndrome in her legs, and actually had surgery to relieve pressure there. But at halftime of each game, she ices down completely from knees to her feet, and it takes about a 15-minute time period for that with the ice, and then she's able to warm back up and get ready to go again. But you know, she's battling through things. Another young lady who's a transfer student, Caitlin Bogle from Utah Valley, actually from Crocker High School, doing a very good job for us. And then 2 freshmen, Christy Mooney and Shelby Trozy, 2 young ladies, one from Texas and one from Arkansas, who are making the adjustment to college ball, but doing a good job and getting better every day.
A couple big names, obviously some of your returners from last year, Denise Rosario, you can't miss her, standing out, has had some big games for you this year, a couple double-digit performances scoring, and then, of course, holding her own back there on defensive and the offensive rebound.
Well, Neezy is someone who had a great year for us last year, an all-conference player, along with that the group we talked about earlier. But Neezy had a knee injury over the summer and actually was rehabbing all through the beginning of school, and it really set her back with her development. And about the first 2 to 3 games we had, her conditioning was not where it needed to be and really wasn't playing at the level we needed her at. But about the last 4 ball games, she's been really, really good. Boy, at Freed, she was outstanding. Here with Loyola out of New Orleans the other day, she had a great ball game and played very well up at our Benedictine game. So, and she's just such a presence on the inside. For the fans who have not seen Denise in person, she's just a big lady. You know, she's 6'3" to 6'4", and a really big, broad young lady, and someone who's athletic. You know, she's not fast, but has a great first step. And kind of the funny thing about her, she's the smallest one in her family. You know, she has a little sister.
Like 10 brothers and sisters or
a
something.
little sister who's 6'7", and so Denise's the baby of the whole bunch. And you know, I always tell the officials that when they're picking on her, you know, she's so big, I always think they pick on her anyway. And I tell them, hey, she's the baby of her family, so you got to take care of her.
And that's got to be, you know, it's balance a little bit, because I know in the last couple of games there's been some fouls that it seems like she automatically gets penalized for because she's just taking up so much space.
We love our officials. We just love them, Cosmo. They're the best. But, you know, I think Denise, that's a battle she has.
Yeah.
Because of her size, I think, you know, when she moves, people fall. And you know, the human nature thing to do is to call the foul there. And, you know, she's, at her size, she doesn't move when people foul her, and then she goes through it. So but that's part of it. That's part of basketball. It's part of sports. And that's one of the things that, you know, influences games. And it's up to you as a coach and up to your players to deal with it and go on and still win.
Another girl that had a very good start to her season has really come into her own, Amanda Phillips, who's kind of been, you know, was kind of in the shadows a little bit last year with, obviously, with Rachel Oswald there in a big role there. And Amanda's really kind of exerted herself and shown some good court presence this year.
Well, Amanda's actually leading the NAIA in block shots right now, averaging over 5 block shots a game. Great length to her, 6'3". And has a great understanding of the game. She really does. And I think when you talk about Amanda, for me as a coach, she's someone that has really taken ownership of a program. You know, I always tell people, if you have a rental car, you really don't care what happens to it over the weekend. If it just drives back into the lot, you're fine with it. But if it's a car that you own and you're making payments on and making insurance payments, all of a sudden the care that you have of that car is completely different. And I think Amanda is one of those people that's come into our program, has great pride in it, taking great ownership in it, and I think when that happens, you see her work ethic, her development, her love, and her pride for it. You can really see in her development in her play.
These Cougars on the road for a game coming up this weekend, and then at home really through I think for a full month from December and into that first week of January. Before you know it, we're going to be flipping the script on AMC tournament or AMC play during the season. We'll get into a little more of the schedule and the AMC tournament, what Coach Davis might expect of his squad for that as they continue on this season. If you have a chance, you'll get a great chance in December to see the Cougars in person out at Southwell Complex. For more on the scheduling, everything ColumbiaCougars.com. We'll come back with more with the coach after this on Mediacom Channel 22.